Hello and welcome to another web development tutorial on my channel, and in this tutorial we are going to talk about CSS. And as this is the second tutorial of CSS, in first tutorial I covered the overview of CSS. If you don't watch that, please watch that before you watch this video. Okay, so first thing, here I open my index.html and index.css. Okay, so let me first paste all the a basic template of so our markup language. And now let me write here CSS tutorial. Okay, so one thing I want to talk about is uh, in my all tutorials I generally use 90% of the time only external CSS. The reason why I use external CSS at the most point of time is because external CSS is a good practice, and also it's easy to maintain your code and easy to read. Okay, and at some point we use our inline and internal CSS, but at some point, so this is what and other thing, the code will be the same for CSS. If you write it inline, then it will be the same. If you write it internal, then it will be the same. No changes will be applied on that thing. Okay, but just some syntax changes, like you have to put if you have inline CSS, you have to put style, and then in the uh, you could say column, you have to write all your CSS, and if you have an internal CSS, you have to mention all this stuff into CS style tags. Okay, so this is all that. Okay, so let me grab this link of CSS right from here, and let's change the name from style.css to index.css. Now after changing my name to style.css to index.css, let's talk about something. First of all, let's open live server, and as my live server is now open, let me put some things like right here into my body tag. So let's grab a div with a class of container. So the you could short form of writing that thing, that a div with a class of container. In this Visual Studio Code, you could write div, then a dot for that denote the class of yours and the class you want. So just I want the class of container, so I put container. Now if I click, you could see div dot class of container, div of a class of container. Now in the case I want my uh, ID of container, so I could write like this, and if I now paste, now it's look like this. Now in a case by chance I want also one ID and one class on the same paragraph or same element, then I could write that like this: container hashtag container. So these are the two other things, but it will look like the same. Okay, and one thing I also want to mention is you could write two classes in one tag as the same. If I write like div dot container 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 para, like this, and you could say, so if we write something in container and other things in container para, they both will include on the same thing. Okay, so this is all about I'm gonna talk about. So let's create a div of a class of container, and in this class I have to put an h2 tag which says hello world, and a paragraph I wanted to put is some dummy text, and just wrap it. Wrapping is very easy. You could press Alt Z, or you could go to Command Lat and use that all. So now if I save this file right here, and if I go to my browser, you could see all these things. Okay, so let me grab my browser like this, in half screen, and half screen my this thing. Now what can I do from right here is just I put my div of class of container. Now go to my CSS file and add some styling. First thing in CSS file, if you're writing, the first thing and a good practice is, you could see in a browser there is some space between the hello world and the end of the screen. So we have to reset this space, because at the time you start styling your sheet, styling your web browser page, then you realize that you give let's say you give a margin of 20 pixel, then the margin will be like 23 pixel. It will increase, and this is a not good thing. So first of all, let's reset the default thing which might worry ourselves, so which is very not good for us. So reset CSS or reset styling, same thing. So but we have to write star denote for all the page, okay, for the all the elements in the browser or all the body in the browser. You could write body instead of star, and then you could write margin 0 and padding 0. Let me write this and then I explain all these things in a good manner. And box sizing border box. So now what I write right here is margin, padding, and box sizing. One thing I also want to mention, like till now I suggest you that you could write div and a class of container. You could also write like I want something to my body. Okay, just one thing. Let me explain. I want my body to a background color of red. Background color of red, just like it. And if I save the file, you could see. So we could change the styling for the element also. So it doesn't mean that we have to give all the classes right here. If we want our body to have something, we could do that like that. Okay, and but that this means is margin is generally stands for, if I just remove this thing, so, and let me save this file. So you can't see anything because we don't use our padding right now. So what margin means is, margin means the space. Let me grab this and comment this out, and let's save this file. So margin means the space between your end line and your text right here. So we have a margin right here, sum of. Okay, so we have to minus that margin so that we put our margin and we got the same result right there. Okay, you could write 0, or instead 0 you could write pixel. Okay, so one thing, if I write 1, control S this file, you could see nothing will happen. So if you want to reset the value or initialize the value to a non-existing value like 0, you could put like 0 and paste. You don't have to put any measurement system like centimeter. We have to, so in web browser we have pixel, ram, vh, and many other things we will talk about. You could also put pixel. Okay, but if you don't put pixel, then it will automatically take that thing. Okay, the reason why it, because 0 pixel is same as all the other measurement system, but one, if you write only one, the user, the browser cannot define between the 1 pixel and the 1 vh, or one, if you are seeing 1 pixel, 1 vh, or 1 ram, all the measurement stuff will be not working so well, so it doesn't show anything right there. So other thing is box sizing. Box sizing is generally for some browsers, which gives you a certain width and height when you make the box right there. So it's a good thing. We will talk about later when we use this box sizing and other stuff like that. So then we will understand this thing in a little bit good manner. Okay. So let me grab my this class of container right from here, and let me put a, so let me put my paragraph a class of container para. Okay, and let me go to my this thing, and let's put a body to uh, let's give a background of, let's say, gray. And if I save this file, you could see a background color of gray. Now if I hover over the gray color, you could change the gray color. So here you could change, you could also change the opacity. So it's generally RGB. RGB stands for red, green, and blue. But if you want to it in also in RGBA, so what that means, A stands for alpha. Alpha denotes the value of, you could say, opacity. So it means that you could give up opacity. Like if I say this RGBA to like 0, then there is the opacity of 0. If I write here zero point 0.7, then you could see the page like this. So hope you understand that thing. Now if I put like this background, I could use like this. Okay, now one thing I also you want to use is, let put my container right here and add some styling right here. So I could put margin. So let me grab a background color, so all you could see what is our container all covered. So if I want to explain you like that, so our container contains all like this tag. So if I put a background color of red, like say, and if I save the file, you could see a background color of red. Okay, so what can I do is, if I write line text line means what, which you want your text to be in. If you want your text to be in left side, only on left side, stick to the left side, you could write left. And if you want to stick on the center and then goes from center, you could write center. So if I write like this, so you could see like this. Now one thing I also could mention right here is font family. Now Font family, you could also use Google fonts and many other things you could use, but here are some fonts which are common fonts. Like if I grab this one, so let me grab, okay, so this font is like that. Okay, so this is all of it. Now talk about margin padding. Okay, margin, I have explained this, but padding is other stuff. So padding generally means that this is a container, but we want a padding to like this. So if I put 10 pixel and save this file, you could see there is a 10 pixel of gap from all the sides of these box. Okay, so there is a 10 pixel of gap from all the sides of this box. The text is away from 10 pixel from the container. Okay, and now let's change the font size. You could there are certain measurement system of web browsers contain of three or four things like pixel, vh, and rem and mem. Okay, so RAM stands for one RAM stands for 16 pixel. You could say that like that. And VH is viewport view height. Okay, VH we don't use much type like of thing. Okay, if I put one RAM right here, so you could see like this. If I put two RAM, let me grab this, so you could see the text became very good. So the if you ask me what should we use in our web page, so I suggest you RAM, because RAM is good for web browser space. So if someone's come tomorrow, and let's say old people whose eyesight is very uh, weak, then he could zoom and many other. If we go to his browser settings, and let me grab to my settings, and in my settings, uh, let it open. Okay, so in my setting there is a system of what font you like to wear. So let me check where this is. Font size, so font size here, if I change it to very large, and now it's very large. And now if I go to my page, you could see the font became very large, so it will automatically change as the Chrome site. So it's good for your uh, people for that use that thing. So it will like one RAM, stands for only one RAM at the minimum, but if any user want large, then it will like large, it becomes some large like that. So it's good for user recommendation. It takes user what type of user eyesight like that. If user used to see the big letters, then it will automatically change to big letter. That's why we use RAM. If instead of RAM we put like 20 pixel, then the text like that, but in settings we go, there is no change in our page. Okay, it's only changed to the Chrome default thing like settings, extension, and other stuff like that. So that's why we have to use RAM. One RAM equals to 16 pixel, as I mentioned right here. And now let's say I want something to my this hello world. So how can I do this? I didn't put a class right here, I didn't put anything, and let me after this div I put another h2 tag, hello world 2. Okay, so let me save this file, and now hello world 2 right here. So what can I do from right here to change this hello world? Okay, so I think in my settings I do something. Okay, so I make it large, I have to medium for recommended. And now if I go to my browser, you could see all things are now in the normalized okay manner. And now if I go from right here, so let's say if I go and write h2 like I say, and h2, and change the text color to white, let's say white. And if I save this file, you could see both the h2 tag will change, but I want only that container contains that h2 will be changed. So how could I use that thing? So I could write like this, dot container. In the container the h2 tag will be white, so now it will be like white. So this is how you could connect all the things and make a in a perfect manner. If I write h2 like this, h2, and then I write color to be let's say red, and now if I save, you could see it will allows only from the outside, for only the outside thing, not for the inside container thing. So it's that's how you could use this thing, and it's pretty good thing. Okay, so let me save this file, and this is how you could use. Now in your container you could do many other stuff, like you could give the opacity, but this opacity is not stands for color right now. It will stand for the whole container. So if I write 0.3, and the opacity measurement is from 0 to 1, so you could use 0, 0 0.1, 0 0.2, 0 0.3, like that. Okay, if I then if I plus if I like this, so it will look like this. So the opacity of text and color both has been changed, and if I put like this to 9, so it will as the same. And let me put it to 0, then you could not see anything. Okay, but I hover over it, so like just like that. So this is opacity, but if you want to change the color, you could use, instead of red, you could use RGB, like that. I use it right here, and this is how you could get all this thing. So for this tutorial it's enough, and let me just do other things right here. If you I mention, okay, another thing, like mention width and height in this tutorial also. So if I put width of, let's say, width, you could use percent measurement, and also you could use pixel measurement, RAM measurement. If I write width to be like, say, 80% or 90% of the screen, so it will automatically switch to 90% of the screen. Now if I put margin to be auto, let's see, so it will, the box will be in the middle. And if I put margin top, so it will take some space from the top of the body. So if I say that 400 pixel and save this, so now it's 400 pixel down from the body. So this is how you could use margin and padding. Margin has all from the side: margin top, okay, margin bottom, margin left, you could use margin right, you could use, and many other things. You could also use margin, and then you could specify for left, right, top, left, right, and top, left, bottom, right, like that. You could see, I don't know this much better. Okay, so this is how you could use this all thing. First thing, you have to reset. Let me grab all the things in a small summary like that. First you have to reset all the things, then you could put container like that, then you could use like this, and you could also mention a tag under and class. Okay, so under a class of container I could use like this. I could put container para like that, and also I could use dot container p like that. And if I like the color white right here, let's see what will change from right here. So if I write color white, and right here I write color to be, let's say, what we can use is um, Bollywood, and let's save this. So color will be white. So this is all about that. Container para doesn't have the dominancy among container p, so you could experiment with among them, and you could see that how in external css with the work will the workflow will work with container para and container p, which will be dominant, which override which. So it's something which you practice by your own, and it doesn't do anything. It will make your workflow and your CSS properties and other things in CSS and web development sharpen, so that you could use and you could understand quickly what's your in what's the problem in your page and what's the fault, like that. Okay, so this is how you could use all that thing, and this is how you could use all that things. And if you like the video, please like and subscribe. See you in the next video.